Australia's top exporters have been recognised at the 59th Australian Export Awards, celebrating their successes despite the challenges of the past year, including contributing more than $6.2 billion in export earnings to the nation's economy. Joining me live now for more on this is Australian Exporter of the Year winner, Monsoon Aquatics founding director Daniel Kimberley. Daniel, thank you for your time and congratulations on your award. It's a pretty big accolade.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks very much for having me.
What was your reaction when you found out that you'd won the top gong?
I was overwhelmed, of course. You know, it's a huge deal for a relatively small business like ours. Started from nothing 13 years ago underneath our house in Darwin, and to Australia's largest exporter of live coral and fish, and with a really exciting aquaculture program too that we're working on now.
Can you tell me a bit more about your business? You export coral and marine life. How do you source it? How do you harvest it? How does it all work?
Yeah, so we have permits that allow us to sustainably harvest coral and fish from the waters in Western Australia, Northern Territory and Queensland. We have 3 boats that work those different areas with teams of divers, and then we have teams of husbandry staff that process that coral and grow it out on land in our coral farms. And then we've got teams of packers and salespeople who get that all around the world and all around Australia as well.
So in terms of your international export markets, who's your biggest market and what are they interested in? What are they taking from your business?
Our biggest market at the moment is Europe. Traditionally, it's been Europe or the USA. We were doing pretty well in China for a while there too before everything sort of got cut off, unfortunately. And what they're chasing for is high quality, healthy products. You know, there's a lot of competing countries around the world like Indonesia, South Pacific Islands and Vietnam and a range of other places that also sell this product. Ours is obviously a lot more expensive, but it's sustainable, it's traceable and it's healthy. And a lot of it is endemic to the areas that we harvest from and then grow it out.
Now, the last 18 months or so have presented challenges. There was COVID, you just mentioned China, but you've grown your total and export sales. By how much and how have you managed to do this?
Oh, look, we increased by about 20-30%, and we had some initiatives that we wanted to carry out before COVID hit that we brought forward. We'd started another facility in Bundaberg that, where I am now, that's helped a lot. And I guess the demand for our product worldwide in some ways increased because people were stuck at home. They wanted to spend money on something and the pet shops were open and they had this fish tank at home. And so they're like, oh, well, we can spend some money on that. And the kids are enjoying it and it's a really good thing to be into. Our difficulty was getting the product to our customers because we rely on air freight and primarily passenger planes.
So how did you overcome that difficulty? Was it just waiting for more freight flights or did you sort of look at other ways to adapt during that time?
We adapted and we were, I guess, I'm not going to say lucky, but we had planned, our business, because we're one of the biggest in Australia, we have 3 facilities. We could fill what's called an AKE on a plane, which is a whole box where all the boxes go into and then is pushed into the plane. And an AKE was now getting charged for the same price whether it had 1 box or whether it was full. So we were one of the few suppliers in Australia who could fill that with a really good range of product and get it to our customers. So we had an immediate advantage just by the fact that we have 3 facilities and such a large range of product to offer.
And just briefly and finally, Daniel, innovation was a big part of these awards. What's next over the next 12 months or so?
Aquaculture for us. We were really lucky to win an Accelerating Commercialisation federal government grant earlier in the year. And that's for our coral spawning project in Bundaberg. And recently we've had a world first with an endemic species of coral to the Bundaberg Mackay region. We've spawned that, we've got it to settle out, it's growing in our facility. So the next big steps for our company is in reinvesting into that aquaculture, growing more and more coral on site, with the plan to obviously, first of all, cater to our aquarium market, but ultimately one day we want to be at the forefront of reef restoration efforts and commercialising that process so we can, start putting corals back onto damaged parts of reef and growing those by the thousands on land.
It sounds like a great initiative indeed. Daniel Kimberley from Monsoon Aquatics, thank you for your time and well done again on the award.
Thank you very much.